Hi, everybody. It's me. I know it's been a while. I'm joined here with ChasReal, though.
Hey, ChasReal, you going to
get right here on Be Exposed Radio, Be Exposed Media.
Happy New Year.
Whatever. It's the same old stuff, just a different digit at the end, right?
It is.
But we're here live from this snowy Baltimore, Maryland. I haven't been outside, but Chance has, so she's been experiencing all of this stuff, and I have not.
And I loved it. It was so pretty. It's a little ugly now.
And cold. It's now 26 degrees outside at 7:10 p.m. That dropped 4 degrees since the last time I looked at it, which was at the beginning of like the 6 o'clock hour. Like at 6 o'clock p.m., it was 30 degrees. So I heard that it's going to probably dip down into the teens tonight.
Oh yeah, that hot out there.
Chill. I got that heat right now, 75 degrees. And I actually got sweat beads on my forehead, but I think that's because anticipation of getting this show started, I had been, like trying to do a little bit of research, which I hate to do. That's why today's show is basically going to be us talking about anything that comes to mind. But I do have two main things slated that I want to talk about that I actually checked out today. One is with Representative Jasmine Crockett, who I absolutely love. Wish she was my representative. She's actually given the persona of who I would be if I was ever elected to be in Congress.
Okay.
She's doing my persona. That's my persona. Because it just needs to be out and out. You need to be speaking your mind at all times. If you're representing somebody and you know that this is what your community wants you to be doing, then that's exactly how it should go. And that's how you should be perceived by others as always being outspoken on what you believe in.
Right.
And that's why I like
you basically speak up for the people, but we always talk about that though, Money. Like, I think a lot of people don't be doing it because it's not
it's usually the representatives usually are out for themselves, and then
yes,
in the mindset of that they're representing you. But my problem with and I've always told people this, my problem with when you say you're representing someone, you have to actually talk to the people that you're representing. If you're not talking to them, how do you know what you're supposed to be saying in Congress?
They come around and talk when it's ready to be election time.
But that's it. But they're not talking about the main issues. If you're not talking about everybody's everyday issues, then you're not representing no one. You're representing yourself and what you believe your ideals are, and that you think they match what other people believe in. I don't need you to think for me. I need you to ask me what I want.
Right. Talk for me. Speak up for me.
Problem, though. That's another problem. A lot of people don't know what they want.
And I'm one of them.
A lot of you are. And that's the problem. Because you're all out here saying that these people ain't doing this for you. They ain't doing this for you. How they going to do something for you when they don't know what the hell you want?
When you can't really be direct.
And you can't verbalize.
And that's how I work. Right. And I get it. Because
when it comes to the reparations issue, like you say you want reparations, but what does reparations look like to you? I don't know. That's what they say.
Right.
Then you can't say you want reparations if you don't know what you want. Do you want a monetary value? How much is that monetary value? I don't know. Then you can't even gauge what your value is. So how do you want reparations? Why do you want everybody else to do the work for you when you can't even come up with a number for yourself?
And I know they ain't still worrying about no 40 acres in the moon. That was
ain't no acres to give away.
Right. I know they showed I work on that, but I never thought about it in terms of that. When you always seeing people, my respirations and we never got paid or whatever. And yeah, that's true.
So I got a video that's coming up about that I seen today with Miss Crockett. I actually posted it on our Instagram page, and I love her. She gives me light and hope that we can
Okay.
get better, because she is fighting against the mega extremists hard. But my first thing that I wanted to talk about, it's another thing that I saw on Instagram, and I wanted to shout out who I got it from. So we can cover our asses anyway. His name is Frankie Made _it_art on Instagram. So here's the video. It has something to do with mixed couples, white and black. In the video, you're going to see the representation of a white man that has married a black woman. And in the video, they're talking about the one man that in the video says something to the effect that this black woman, after have been dating black men, basically, she found her happiness in a white man and not a black man. Me and my sister just went into in-depth conversation over the phone over it for about 45 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, talking back and forth about how we can see it, that being true on both sides. And then my sister actually said something to the effect of, but she's not willing to give up on her black men yet. Yeah. Okay. 50.
Okay. Well, I love my black men.
And ain't nothing wrong with loving them. I'm not saying anything about it. But I'm just saying, don't close yourself off to your happiness.
Right. And I get it.
Your culture that ain't fighting for you.
I'm always saying I get it. But I think a lot of times when it happened like that, and
let's have the discussion that on the other side of the video.
Let's have it, because I was ready to say, where's sis at? Go ahead, pump that video.
Let me play the video. Let's look.
Okay.
Maybe because they
wait a minute, that's the end. Hold on, let me get back to the beginning.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for saying this. I can feel it coming. Probably lose a lot of followers too. I don't care. I'm saying it anyway. Y'all can call it a coincidence. Y'all can say, oh, well, you don't really know what's going on in their relationship. And that may be true. But I can only say what it is that I see and what I have heard. Every black woman that I know that formerly was with a black man and is now either married or with a white man is happy. I don't know why. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with black men. I'm a black man, as you can see. What I'm saying is exactly what I said. Every black woman that I know that is with a white man is happy.
Maybe because they listen to the white man and combat the black man.
Chastity.
All
right, so there's a real issue. The real issue I took when I came from that video, because it wasn't about the happiness part. Because if you gauge that happiness on the divorce rate and all that kind of stuff, then you come up with a particular answer. But that last statement that the young man made, that was actually the guy, Frankie, that I gave his information in the beginning of the video. That was him saying that about what he said at the end. What did you take on what he said at the end about the combativeness against? I don't even know. I can't even remember what he said. Shoot.
Basically saying that as a black woman, you be competitive with going back and forth.
And combat the black man.
They listen to the
white man and combat the black man. And I don't necessarily think that's the case, but a lot of times, falls with a black woman, we got stereotype anyway. Anything we say is the attitude. So I think like in other races, I don't think that's necessarily true. I just think that sometimes it might be the white man that is hearing her and not thinking that everything that I'm saying is an argument or I am trying to combat you. You know what I'm saying? Certain men have certain egos, and that's why I said I don't see it as a black and white thing when we say like they was dating black men, then they met white men. I really feel like sometimes in the other culture, like the same way we see our brothers do, that the white men or other nationalities, they appreciate a sister more. Sad to say, but I see it a lot. You get what I'm saying? It's like we're so obsessive or available for the black man. It's like whatever. The same way I be thinking like black men, they put other nationalities on a pedestal. Oh, I got me a white woman, or my woman is Latina, or she's pulled. You know what I mean? And you'll hear black men say that too, like, oh, white women don't argue with you, or you know what I mean? I think it just has a lot to do with the aura and the personality and just that that black woman has, where black men may take it that way and white women might be a little bit more submissive at first, because a sister is only going to submit when it's worth that. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of our brothers out here, they ain't fully in that man role. And then they want to be treated like a man, but they can't treat their woman like a woman. Now, like I was saying, I love my black men. And I think it would be difficult for me if a white boy or somebody try to holler at me, and then all of a sudden I'm feeling, but I just think it's more so about the treatment. And how somebody treats you. I don't look at it as far as like.
But how so? How so would it be difficult though? If they grew, so say for instance, this white guy grew up in your same area, in your district, or your town, and what would be the difficult for you? The difficult.
I think it starts first with my preference. Because I prefer black men over any other race, and then it also
because you say you preference still provides a choice. So
I prefer. And then
it's not that you're absolutely against it.
Right, but then we talk about this, and it's not like it's not real shit. I think it's also my trauma about knowing, and just like the history of like and I don't know. I just don't want him, when he get mad at me, be calling me no black bitch or no no end. Like I would receive that different from I don't know. I just will always have that in the back of my mind, just because of the way how things is that like
yeah.
I don't know.
What I heard from you, what I just heard there was a culture shock. That was a culture shock moment.
Exactly.
Where you're saying you don't want to hear that. But in our generation, that's not what we get from, let's say, particular from our generational white people. They might call you a black bitch. They might not, but the N-word is something I don't think would be uttered so easily. Not from our generational period.
Right. And then
if you was dating somebody in their 50s and 60s, yeah, you might get that.
And then too, just because I love black people, I stand up for my race or whatever. I'll say that, right? It would definitely be a culture shock for me for a white man to be trying to love on me like that. And then also I know I would receive some type of backlash from my community. You know what I'm saying? Just because of who I am, and I'm always so proud of my blackness. You know what I'm saying? Like people will be like, "What?" I remember back in grade school and living in the county, white boys and stuff used to like me, and I be getting to talk to them. But it always was, my black friends like, "Girl, you need talking to that white boy," and blah 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 blah. But mind you, one of them that had some babies by that white boy, they was shunning me about talking to. But like, stuff like that, I know that I would hear it. Like, I know that I would hear it.
Let's dive into that part right there, because I want to know, like,
not that I would care what nobody say, but
yeah, but still, like, those judgmental people they're not the people that you hold in your close knit circle, is it? Or they just people on the outside that are like acquaintances that have opinions?
Right. I think it's more so that. Like acquaintances. I would like to believe it
really wouldn't matter in the scheme of things.
No, because those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. That's always the case, and that's facts. But I think more so like people who really right, my family. I ain't want to say friends because people I consider now friends are my family. My
Right.
family, I think that they will respect it because they know what I've, what I'm saying, what I've been through. So just the fact to see me experiencing happiness and being loved correctly, I mean, who can hate on that?
True.
Like, that's
That's
where
my
I
point.
come from. I mean, my ideal would be to, marry a black man and be with a black man and be, loving and have that type of relationship. But that has not been my experience. So I
Maybe
wouldn't
that's
cut
why
myself
I was
off.
explaining to my sister too when I was talking about this with her, that I was like, I know one person. I'm not gonna give her name out because she don't need that kind of scrutiny. But she had been dating black men all her life, right? And in the scheme of things, she went on to dating black men back and forth, dating black men. But in the scheme of things, she had went on to college, became a college graduate, became a career oriented woman, and in that same track, everybody that she was dating didn't have the same drive as her,
Okay.
right?
Uh-huh.
When I say drive, I mean career path, where she wanted to go, being able to travel, and all that kind of those things matter when you're getting older, right? So she ended up meeting a white guy. Now this person ended up being her soulmate. So
Mm.
she married him. They've now got kids. They now live a life of, I don't want to call it leisure, because they both have careers. They both have money. They both became uniquely equal to each other and are thriving in their mixed marriage and relationship
The
and children,
American dream,
right?
the American family, basically.
And she just had to admit it. I could not find that in my community when in the time frame that I had, basically. Like, if
Right.
she probably would have kept searching, she probably would have found it. But would she have missed opportunities? Would she have missed things like maybe it wouldn't have happened for her in her early years and she would have never had kids or not? You know what I'm saying? Just because she's waiting for her soulmate in one subsect of people.
Right.
But she ended up going outside of her race and found it.
Right.
And I just don't say it's nothing wrong with it. And she's
Mhm.
happy, like tremendously happy. That man dotes on her. And I think that's what she was looking for, someone that was going to dote on her and that she can do like the same thing to that person, because she dotes on him just
Right.
as much.
Right. I think that's what all of us want. And when you think about it, in all hindsight, even, telling that story again, I don't think it really has to do with the black and white thing, but,
Mm-mm.
her
It's that she
environment
found
too.
her instinctual equal
Right. And it was more so in her
versus
environment.
her
Like,
cultural equal.
right.
And that's why I wanted to bring this conversation up, because what he said at the end of this video is what I had a problem with. It's saying that I still can't remember what he said. I know you do. Go ahead.
That they that they listen to white men and
Mm-hmm. That part.
combat
That
black
part.
men.
Because in saying that, there's still some servitude that you are wishing from your woman that is not okay with me. Because
Mhm.
he's saying they're argumentative, which means that you're saying that they don't want to listen to what you have to say because they don't have a mind of their own.
Right. But
But
like,
they're listening. But you're saying they're listening to the white man. They're listening to the white man because he's taking control like a master. You see that mentality?
yeah, that's how he
And
tried to put it.
that's why you're not winning in that fight, because you're not listening to what they're saying, because you're not listening. It's not them that's not listening, you're not listening.
Ditto. My sentiments exactly. That's what I said. Like, it's about somebody listening to you, allowing you to be a woman. A
Right.
lot of times in our culture, as far as black women, I know because, like I said, I'm living it. I have lived it, and that has been my experience. We don't, like I said, we get the stereotype that we're, so aggressive,
It's
or
not even the
we're
stereotypes though. It's some of it is that notion that we have to fit into these roles that was created all these millennia ago that you still want to stick to. Like only men are going to take out the trash, the women are going to wash the dish. That's bull.
Right.
You got to
And
let
if
those cultural norms go.
a woman has anything to say,
because up until you were in that relationship, that woman was taking out her own trash.
Say it again.
That woman was washing all the dishes. She was washing all the clothes. She was paying all of her own bills. And then she met you. But you want her to now fit when now she met you. You now want this person to try to fit into the cultural norms that you grew up on, where the woman and the man had these different issues and these different places and these different roles. But you forgot that this is now the present.
And that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of Black women, you know what I'm saying, in our community,
we both can take out the trash.
Yes, we can. And it's like we don't get to reside enough in our femininity, in our womanhood, because that's what I'm saying. We've been doing so much, like, right, for real shit. The one man, I say, like, wow, man, for real. Because Black women, man, we be doing it. Do you hear me? Like, really, like, for real. And a lot of times, like I said, we talking about generations. A lot of these Black brothers, I'm noticing in my generation and stuff, you know, they have that, they looking for a mommy and not a partner,
right?
Not a wife,
right?
You know, and then we talked about on the other side of it, if they're looking for a wife, they looking for somebody they can boss around.
But that's the thing, you know, and that's interesting that you know how you said that too, because in that argument, like I was just saying about the role thing, in that argument, before you met her, you were also doing your own dishes. You were also washing your own clothes and taking out the trash yourself, man. Right? You were doing that too. So when you got married, why did you make all of that? Why did you want to put those roles and switch those roles up instead of taking half and half and dividing it amongst each other and not using those stereotypical roles to build your relationship off of?
Right.
That's why we have the divorce rate now, because those weren't successful. You need to create your own relationship.
Exactly. That's a partnership. That's really the meaning of a
based on anything that you saw in the past.
Right.
Because you're working on the future, not the past. Why are you still trying to get? That's the whole thing about that, you know, the MAGA culture. Like, why y'all want to go back to that? You do realize that y'all basically lived in a world of black and white.
Oh, when they Make America Great Again. Right. Yeah. What was great about it?
What was great? What was actually great for anybody about it?
Right. What was great about it?
Today is totally different than it was in 1950.
So that just confirms everything.
I will fight teeth and nails. I will stretch your eyes out not to go back.
Chill. Like I said, if they go back and they bring them back, I'm moving to Canada.
I ain't go. I mean, I'm leaving, but at the same time,
I'm going to Canada though.
You ain't taking what's mine. On my way out, I'm gonna fight until I get out.
Okay. Yeah, well, I would date a white boy, whatever, like that, but I really would be shocked because, again, that's not a lot of times. And I just was saying that for real, Money. Like, maybe I can't find nobody, and I'm so, because, my environment, and I always be saying, oh, yeah, I want to meet somebody, but I don't go nowhere.
You don't go nowhere, right?
Right. Like, I don't go nowhere, so I don't open myself up to meet that. And when I have been in different, events or something, or going somewhere and a white man or another nationality guy tried to get fresh with me, or, it was strange to me. It was strange to me because, one, in our culture and the way stuff is, well, not just in our culture, but, it's so many things, we be living with insecurities. And I guess I be thinking that's not the norm, or what this white man, or, you know what I'm saying? Or this other guy that's another race you like or something. Like I ain't what he like. Like, I'm a black woman, but you don't know that they be liking it. But it just be strange to me.
Yeah.
It be strange to me.
It's just, I just wish we would learn to stop following the cultural norms of the past and try to create some new cultural, not even a cultural norm, just create your relationship in the way that you want it to be. You don't have to rely on the past to see your future, because you don't want anything from that past. You shouldn't want anything from that past. At least I don't want anything from that past.
Right. Well, I guess when
wasn't good for a whole subsect of people, that past wasn't good for them. So every time you keep saying, I want to, you know, I remember when I was little, it was this way, this way, this way. Yeah, you also remember you was poor.
Right, and you ain't stay there.
That's why it was that way, and that way, because you ain't had no money to do anything else.
Right. And just like I said, for me, it would
have a roof over your head.
Yeah, it wouldn't necessarily be about if it's a white man to me. It's just about, you know, at this point and stuff like that in my life, it just would be whoever is trying to help you, you know, maintain your solitude.
Or excel. I don't even think maintain is the right word. It's or who wants to help you excel in this life.
Right. And when I was ready to say, when I was saying maintain, I was talking more so about my feelings. And I didn't want to say happiness because, you know, of course you have to find that on your own. I don't think you already have to be happy with
You're
yourself.
not going to find it in somebody.
Right. And something somebody do, but right. When I say maintain, right. I mean, just maintain that feeling of being loved. And if it's a Chinese, Oriental, Mexican that comes and sweet my baby, I wouldn't care what nobody got to say. This my boo, and where you go at the hair cuttery or the regular what? where you go get your hair cut at, boo? Where you what? What you eat? If it's the Indian man, what we eating? What? Spices and all that, because you know they can't go to everyone.
Right. But they do now. That's the thing about
it. They do, right? They do.
They definitely are going to the black barbershops now.
Oh yeah, I'll be somewhere with my other business, but baby, the snares or the stirs you would get. Yes, you would.
And that's it. But
especially if you were that.
I've noticed that it's becoming a norm. It don't be the stairs like it used to be.
Right. Oh, brother,
because a fade is going to be a fade, whether it's on another head or not. They still getting it faded.
Right. No, I'm talking about getting the stirs down, seeing me love on this man.
Oh, in front of that. Oh,
that ain't a brother, right? And I be baby, y'all fumbled me, and he caught me. Touchdown.
Before we go to the Jasmine thing, what were we talking about earlier on the phone? I forgot. It was something that was good.
What? We always talking, Monny. I haven't talked to you lately on here, but we always just getting in the good. Don't we always say that? And then we get to
write it down, but I can't remember. I was like, because I was going to bring it up on the show, but I didn't even write it. So,
and what it had to do with?
I don't know. I can't remember.
He said, I don't know.
Oh, shoot. I know I brought it up to you. Damn. We was talking about something with Trump, I'm sure.
Yes, we will.
All right.
I can't remember either.
Move on to
you know, I've been had my municipal card. So baby, my short term.
Miss Crockett, her lovely self, Miss 42-year-old Miss Crockett from I can't even call it the good state of Texas anymore because I don't know how y'all live there. But anyway, she's the representative from Dallas, Texas. I just love her. She just gives me, it just makes my heart warm.
Why they can live there. Because they know what Miss Crockett down there doing. Yeah, I had a big girlfriend. My big sister just moved down there doing the daggone thing.
Today, I just so happened to be on Instagram, which I'm not always on there, but I get on there every now and then. And I came across this video of her letting the Republicans have it. Okay. And I enjoyed it so much. I said, I'm going to share it with my team. And you guys are my team. So without further ado, Here we go.
It back though to the very beginning, because this is something that I just can't get over. I can't get over the gentle lady from South Carolina talking about white privilege. It was a spit in the face, at least of mine as a black woman, for you to talk about what white privilege looks like, especially from that side of the aisle. And let me quote your now ousted speaker and what he had to say about the Republican Party and y'all's lack of diversity. When you look at the Democrats, they actually look like America. When I look at my party, we look like the most restrictive country club in America. So let me tell you something. Y'all don't know what white privilege looks like, but I'm gonna show you a little bit of something. You see, you want to talk about a two-tier justice system, and this is the only time that y'all have ever referenced it, when this country has a history when it comes to black and brown folk of having two separate sets of rules. And right now, what you want to do is have two separate sets of rules, because Mr. Moskowitz offered y'all a fair situation. He said he would vote for Hunter to be held in contempt if y'all voted to hold all, even if you remove all of the members of Congress. There's still other people that y'all haven't decided that y'all have excuses for, but y'all don't want to hold them in contempt. But for some reason, it makes sense to hold Hunter Biden in contempt, who has tried to comply. And let me tell you why nobody wants to talk to y'all behind closed doors, because y'all lie. That's just the bottom line. You have done it thus far in this investigation. You have done it this far as it relates to this committee. In every single hearing, y'all spin, spin, spin. I don't know how y'all are still standing right now, because you should be quite dizzy from all the spinning that you're constantly doing when it comes to spinning the truth. You talk about free and fair elections, but you back a guy who we know tried to steal the election. And this isn't about what Democrats have to say. Let me remind you, for those of you that don't know how the justice system works, it's not a matter of the president went in and indicted Trump, but we are talking about grand juries. Grand juries are comprised of American citizens, and the people that have entered pleas of guilty that will be flipping on your leader in a minute, they are Republicans. I do want to point that out. And half of them were Republicans that were handpicked by Donald Trump himself. So, to be clear, whatever happens to your little leader, it's going to be because of the actions that he took. So you can talk all you want to about how January 6th was nonsense, but all of y'all were running at that time. Y'all were grabbing y'all's gas masks and y'all were running to your offices because you didn't know if they were coming to kill you. You should have cared that somebody was there to protect you, but instead you want to play games because you found out that it was your leader that decided that he wanted to propagate an insurrection on our country. So don't tell me that you care about the Constitution, because you don't. All you care about is Trump getting reelected, and I'll yield the last of my time to my leader.
Thank you.
Woo!
I have never felt more proud in my life.
Tell the truth and shame Trump.
I have never felt
say
something in my life.
yes. And heard everything she said was valid. And it was on
I
point.
wish the camera could have just panned over to that side of the room to see how many heads would have been looking down.
It's the absolute truth, Monny. I totally agree. Especially when she broke it down to say when they did that insurrection, all of y'all were running.
All of you
y'all didn't know what was going on. But now it wasn't so. When you found out it was your leader, come again.
It wasn't that bad. It didn't happen like that. You know, it was a whole
bunch of,
it
wasn't like that. He didn't incite it. But who they was doing it for?
Lie. All you do, don't nobody want to go in no dark room with y'all, because all y'all do is lie. Everything that y'all going to say, y'all going to take it out of context and probably turn Hunter Biden's testimony into a lie.
Baby, she said, I'm surprised y'all standing now.
Because y'all should be done.
Because y'all just turned. Y'all spin it, and you should be dizzy. Work.
When I tell you she's on the top of my list for people that should run for president.
But you know, and that ain't the first time that she has broke it down like that. She definitely spooked it.
I was definitely impressed by her. I mean,
I loved it.
Yeah, exactly. Like
She said what she had to say, made her valid points, and they felt that, and it really was given like, take that, because y'all not gonna play with me.
To watch. And anything that you're doing, she's definitely. I mean, you know, because I like both her and Hakeem Jeffries.
Yeah, we was looking at it. I think one of the last times when you did your show last year, we had looked at a clip from her when it first was coming out about the Hunter Biden and that he should be, indicted and all this other stuff. And no, not for as him, but his father,
because none
our
of nothing
president
that
should
has
be.
to do with Hunter Biden should be in Congress.
Right.
Nothing dealing with Hunter Biden should be in Congress because he is not an elected official. Everything dealing with Hunter Biden it should be done judicially in the court of law.
Right.
They are the only ones that can find him guilty or not guilty of anything. He's already told you that his father had nothing to do with any of his business dealings. So it's like you're trying to make it true by making him come to Congress to testify, answering your questions when he really shouldn't have to. Because you don't have anything to do with the legality of anything that has to do with an American citizen when you're supposed to be writing the laws.
Right. And it kind of was given like it was like get back. Like how you saying they was trying to pull Joe Biden into it.
They're trying to use him to get at his father, but it's not working and it shouldn't be working. And because the MAGA people are running the House of Representatives is the only reason why it's working, because they have control of that side of the government. So they can call witnesses and all this other kind of stuff. But something there should be a mechanism there, and I'm not sure why it isn't, where they shouldn't be calling on citizens to come to Congress to prove themselves innocent, not in front of Congress. Because he's not an elected official that has to answer to Congress. That's not where American citizens go to answer to Congress. Not when it doesn't have anything to do with politics.
But they're doing that because the president is his father.
He shouldn't be going to Congress to answer for his drug abuse. He shouldn't be going to Congress to answer for his sex tape. He's not an employee of the government. So you see what I'm saying? Him going to Congress is a formality that just isn't necessary.
Oh yeah, I absolutely understand what you're saying.
They don't have no proof that President Biden did anything. Which is why they can't file their impeachment inquiry that they want to do, because they have no evidence. All this is a get back to everything that they did to Trump. This is just them trying to see if they can do the same thing that the Democrats did to Trump while he was in office, if they can do that here. And they don't have the evidence to do it. But they had the evidence to impeach Trump. Y'all just didn't want to do it because y'all clowns.
Right, and y'all trying to find anything, not something that Joe Biden did, but something that his son allegedly did that had nothing to do. Right, that had nothing to do with Congress, but y'all trying to put Joe in it. It's just a mess, and it definitely was that. It definitely was get back. It definitely is picking. It definitely is giving that.
It's sad. Because like she said, all they're going to do is lie. That's why they want him to do it. They want to have his first hearing behind closed doors, a deposition. No, what you deposing me for? Did I commit a crime that was valid for Congress, or are you trying to find something on my father? No, you don't find evidence. You gather evidence. If you got evidence,
right,
you gather it first.
Y'all trying to get me in this room to try to say that I said something.
Yeah, right. You don't come to me, the American citizen, to try to ask me if my father did something. No. What evidence do you have to ask that question? You already should have determined that before you even try to get me to come in for a deposition. Why am I being deposed on my personal life? That's what the court system is for.
It's bogus. And just like how she said, the biggest point of it all is that whatever happens to the former president is from stuff
they're trying to do the job of the Department of Justice, and it's just not appropriate.
Right. And it's about things that Trump did, not nobody else. It's about things that Trump did. And that's how I was speaking on it, like as far as his cases and, in the Supreme Court. But one of his former lawyers, I cannot recall her name right now, just was basically making a notion, not even a former lawyer, no, she's still on his thing. He got so many formers, by the way.
Alina Baba or whatever her name is.
Somebody else, another attorney just dropped.
Oh yeah, I just saw that yesterday.
From his team. Yeah, he got so many formers, by the way. But that's what she was speaking on. She's still on his team, and she just was basically saying that Trump and them have a concern that they will vote against him just to show that they don't favor him. And remember, I talked about that on my show. Like, what sense do that make? These are the judges that he
Supreme Court you talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That he brought 3 of them, more than any other president. 3 of them. So no, those are the same people that you so-called elected or, put in those seats because you felt that they were fair and upholding of the law. So now that you are in trouble, you're saying that they're not going to follow those same things, that they're still not going to, uphold the law.
Right.
They just going to vote against you because they don't want it to look like. I said, this man throws all types of just fantasies. Yes, to make a conspiracy, to try to make it seem so he's already trying to put that thought out there. So when it does happen, when he is found guilty by the Supreme Court, that, you know what I mean, that argument is already out there. Oh yeah, they were going to vote me guilty anyway, just because so they can make it look fair and that they weren't on my side. But you voted these people in, and you.
Be interesting to see. Because I'm waiting for that decision too, because they got to hurry up and do that, seeing as though this primary just ended yesterday, where he won the the position of being the primary person on the ballot for the 2024 election. They have to come on and consider this case by March anyway, before these other states like Colorado and Maine get to their primary votes, because we need to determine whether he's even qualified to be president, seeing as though all of the other options are now starting to drop off, like Vivek and what's his name, Chris Christie, dropping off out of the race. But then they might not even have the front runner no more if he's not qualified to run. So they need to hurry up and make that decision. One. And then it'd be interesting to know if the three justices that he chose might side with him because of their loyalty or whatever the case may be. They might side with him, but that still puts him not able to qualify if it's a 6-3 vote.
Right.
But you see what I'm saying? The 3 people you put on the court might say, no, he's not disqualified, but the other 6 might say he is.
Right. But do you think that a lot of them are dropping off for the Republicans, the presidential race, because of their feelings now of Trump and all this is going on in their party? Do you think it has something to do with that?
What you mean?
Like they want to be involved, like they see, like how she was speaking, like the majority of the Republicans, that's in the House, they still backing them. And a lot of those people,
I know for sure Chris Christie is not backing them. So
that's what I'm saying. And I think that they're just disappointed in their own party.
He was dropping out because his latest poll numbers put him in he was in the single digits.
Wow.
And he had no way of winning. But now, like I'm saying, if they would have came up with this, so say for instance, the Supreme Court would have took this up before the Iowa caucus, we would have already known if he was disqualified. Then people wouldn't have wasted their vote, endangering themselves coming out in that blizzard that hit Iowa. Basically, they wouldn't have came out to vote for him, knowing that he wasn't qualified to even be on the ballot. But see, now we wasted a whole entire day and a lot of money where they went over there and caucused in Iowa before even knowing if he's still qualified. Because now what if in March they say he's not qualified? You just wasted a whole day of voting yesterday. Or somebody that the question that is he even qualified to be on the ballot hasn't even been answered.
And I hope they gag. I pray they gag. I pray they gag.
Who are you telling? Everybody's probably praying.
Because you're right. That's knowing all that. That alone, Trump don't care about nobody.
Yeah.
All he wanted him to go out there and roll, and so he can, he can say, okay, I won down here, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so disgusted. And at this point, it just really makes my stomach turn, Monty.
Yeah.
It really makes
I
my
don't know how
stomach
to spell
turn.
her last name, but I
Well,
know
I
it's
know that
called.
case up falls up in New York. I think that ruling is to come out by
Oh,
January 31st, and then his new one starts. But
this is going to be one to remember. So I did hear that Joe Biden had a good fourth quarter in raising funds. That they got like a lot of money on hand right now for the for the campaign. So that's a good. I mean, I guess that's some good news. Seeing as though, and then the good point about that is that they said it was all majority of it was small dollar donations, so it was actually coming from the people. My only problem with that is, and I gave up on donating to campaigns in 2016. I don't know if it was because our party, the party that I voted for, lost, but
wasted money.
I felt like my money was wasted. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gambling no more when it comes to these goddamn elections. That's what I'm not doing. So I don't donate anymore. I wish if anybody's listening, can you tell President Biden to stop sending me text messages asking for money?
He remember.
I mean, I support you, sir. I really, really do. But I don't support you financially anymore because I'm sticking to my notion where I do believe that all elections need to be defrauded of money. For money from the people. You should not have to, we should not have to pay you to run for elected office. That's absolutely absurd. Only
Great
for you
point.
to file, only for you to do advertising, which actually, if we ran this, I believe, if we did this country right, and and outside of this capitalistic system, stupid system, that it should be no campaign financing. Like that should be dumb. That we should be already into the point where we're at the point of knowing who we're going to vote for. Who's going to run for office. Everybody should just be able to run, and the system should be paying for the system.
Right, I get that. But it's just a whole bunch of that swaying too.
That's what I'm saying. Because we should be just, because I think that would allow more people. It would allow more people that we could believe in to get in the race. While they're out here looking for people to support them and looking for these high time, dollar donors that support them and get on the road and do all this other kind of stuff, that shouldn't be happening.
Right, and
Because
who's backing
that's what that
who?
divisiveness comes from, is that favoritism and who wants you to do this. And if you do this for me, what kind of favors am I going to get from you?
Yes, that's what I was ready to say. Who they link to, who they associated with, who they favor. Such and such is putting up. But what do they call it when people, go for one or the other?
Lobbying.
Huh?
Lobbying.
Yeah, lobbying. But you know how like the other officials or whatever, when they, what can I say? Basically, when they put their bet behind them, it's a term that they call it, like, not sided with them, but it's like a real term. Like they just got, not nomination. I can't think. I can't get the word. I ain't gonna mess up the words on your show. I ain't gonna mess up the words.
I will correct you if you do.
But basically, right, and please do. I live for that. But basically, what I'm saying is, like, how you were saying, like, when certain ones that are already in that political arena or already known for, it's like, I guess say that celebrities saying is like the Oprah's back a certain person, or you know what I'm saying, or famous people or people that we know, they backing them or they going for them, endorsing.
Oh, endorsing, right.
Yeah, endorsement. That's it. Okay, I told you I was going to get it.
But see, that's what the thing about that. You can endorse somebody without it having to be a financial transaction. Just by
Right.
saying the words, I endorse President Biden.
But what I'm saying is a lot of that
That didn't require
endorsement.
me to spend $1 million. That didn't
Right.
require me to do that.
But a lot of that endorsement and a lot of that campaign stuff, like I say, I think some of it is solely for the purpose to sway certain people. You already know, and Trump campaign just be so
Well, it's to get
dirty.
their support. It's basically, if you give me $1 million, that shows I have your support. And that'll tell your fans and the people that follow you that you support me. But it shouldn't be that way. It should be that if Oprah says I endorse so and so, then that's just it. She didn't have to give up her money to do so.
Right.
Her word should be enough. Your word should be enough. Our word should be enough, because the campaign finances shouldn't be coming from us. The government should be paying for it.
Right.
You
But
should
you
have to
know they use
if
them
you want to be the
endorsements.
president. You should have to register with the federal government and then run, and then they will tell you how much money they'll give you to do your job, to do the job of running. If you got to go to a country, travel across the country, they'll give you they'll print the bus, they'll pay for all that kind of stuff. You submit the bills to the government. Let them do it.
Mm,
Let them pay for it. Why is the people that don't have no damn money paying for this shit?
paying for you to run.
Right.
So you can
Whether
get
it's $42 or not, it should not take me investing in you being the president, and I'm not going to get. You're investing with no option of return on your money, because you're never going to get it back. That $42 is gone.
Yes, Uncle
It's not
Joe.
like when the campaign is over, they're going to give you your portion of that money back, because that's not what's going to happen.
Right, like it's an investment for real, or you should
It's
get
not an
some.
investment. That's the thing. It's not an investment. It's a payment.
Right, on a payment, but that's what I'm saying. Like it should. Right, I get it. I get it. I get it, and I agree. But
Everybody
again,
talking about you're investing in your future. Why am I like? No, I'm not. I'm investing in the company that's going to be charging you for your advertising future. Because we give you that money, you go and buy ads. You go travel around the world. That money's not coming back to us. It ain't coming back to me. I ain't never got my money back.
yeah, going out to get their message out, to spill their message out,
Which
and
is
just like
something that should not be coming from the people, seeing as though we're taxed already.
right. Well, I hope the people that the last time when they voted for Trump, I hope that they did listen to some of that hypocritical stuff he said in his campaign, far as when it came to these, these blue collar jobs and that industry and where factories, and he did not stick to that.
Mm.
It was many. I hope they remember that. I hope they do. I just hope they remember that the black people, because he made that his point, even when he got that so-called endorsement from Kanye West, that was to sway people. All of them stunts that he pulled with those, his black followers and those things that he brung on his campaign to try to persuade the black vote. And I remember him making statements saying, what do we have to lose? As if he was going to do something for the Americans, the black and brown Americans, which he did not. The whole time he was in there. I hope they remember that. Even though,
I'm glad you said that, though, because all the things that they said that he's not going to do. Because I actually specifically wrote a comment on someone's page today, and I ain't going to even be able to get it to it. Let me see if I can do it from here. I wrote a comment on someone's page today. Is it this one? What's I'm not gonna be able to find it. Move.
oh no, moving around, I done made me a cup of ice. I done made me some dip. I like this behind the scenes.
Huh? Could you get?
I like this behind the scenes, this camera.
You can do stuff. All right, so no, I can't find it, but it was the All right, I can't find it, but okay. I said something to the effect. So somebody was in the comments on a certain post saying like I'm not voting for Biden again because what has he done for us? So that goes back to what I asked you, we were talking about in the beginning. How are you going to talk about what he has done for us when you don't know what you want?
Mm.
And not only that, you don't even know what's happening in government, period. right? Between Congress, between the judiciary, between the legislative and the executive. You don't know anything about what's happening, right?
The important
Because
stuff.
now you're still claiming that Biden hasn't done anything, but he's done more in his record in the first 3 years of his presidency than any other president has done ever.
And I don't know.
And they don't know this. And that's the funny part about it. They don't know that that's happened because they don't follow, but they're already ready to jump on him to say that he's done nothing for them. But they don't know what's happened. Right? And then the other part of it was you don't even know why he can't continue to go on with his agenda. Because you don't know anything about government. So here's a little lesson for you. The president can't act alone. Okay? He cannot create laws on his own. All he can do is pass executive orders, which they don't like to do because that's not what the people want. That's why they like to pass laws through the people's
representatives. To make it seem like it's just all about him and what they want. They don't like doing that.
Trump did in his first term in office. Obama did the same thing because he had no choice but to do executive orders because of divided government. That is what we're in right now. We're right now in the middle of a divided government where the Democrats control the Senate and the Republicans control the House of Representatives, which means that they're not working together because you know who's in charge of the House of Representatives? The MAGA extremists. Mike Johnson. Ugly Taylor Greene. Matt Gaetz. All of them are in control right now, and they're not passing bills.
Is it that you talking about Marjorie? Is it?
No, her name is Ugly. We're never going to call her Marjorie on here.
And she keep on. Oh, I knew you was talking about her. I just was trying to go back, whatever. Yeah, I said she keep on coming for Miss James.
No.
Just because, but yeah, Monny, you absolutely right. Like he can't do everything.
You're trying to fault him for something that's out of his control. It's either he has to wait for Congress or he's going to do executive orders. Presidents don't like to do executive orders because that goes against what the people's representatives want. The representatives answer to you. The problem is the people aren't holding their own representatives accountable for not getting anything done. They always point to the president, and it's not his fault. He would be doing everything you want him to be doing if he had the ability to do so.
Right. If your representative from your state was on board.
Exactly.
He wrote into what he said. That's who you need to talk to.
Immigration thing into his face, and he keeps saying, "What have you passed in regards to the immigration law that I'm supposed to be working on? You've changed nothing since even when Trump was in office. You have changed nothing. You've done nothing to support or fix the immigration system. So you've done nothing. Why are you trying to point at me? What am I supposed to do? You want me to go down there and shoot all them people? That's not appropriate."
Right.
Whether they're crossing the border or getting here, like the people that
he just want them to treat them. He want them to treat them inhumane the way Trump was doing when they was getting over and they was in them camps and being separated and all that from their family. He want them to treat them unhuman because the whole point is they.
Did you hear about the mother and her 2 children that drowned?
Oh, it's so many of them trying to get over. Yes. I done seen so many stories like that.
Law enforcement was preventing the U.S. government from coming in to do anything to help with that situation. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, first of all, how do you think a state agency, can supersede the federal government?
A mess.
That part right there was like ridiculous to me. Like, when I heard that Biden was yelling, let the government in. Like, what do you mean? You are a member of the United States of America, which means the United States of America supersedes anything that you do. Because you don't get funding from just your own state. You get funding from the federal government as well. And this is Texas, of course, that I'm talking about.
And y'all played in our face. Like we don't have, it's a mess. That's so, that's exactly what it is.
Like that. And it's just so many people that are uneducated on their own processes of government that don't make no sense. Like I said, I went back to the thing where I was talking about that. I think we were talking about this last year, 2023, where I was saying we missed the days when there was a citizenship class where you had to learn these things before you could even proceed to the next grade. You had to pass the citizenship test before you could go to the next grade to prove that basically to indoctrinate you, which I hate that word, to indoctrinate you into the system of being an American.
Right, but you knew all of the branches.
All the branches of government.
And even right now, right, did you just, right.
That's
and
what
even
that class did for you. And no one knows that stuff these days. They just blame one particular person because he's on the top rung, which is the president. But you can't take that information and run with it that way because there are checks and balances for everybody. Including the president. There are certain things he cannot do. He's not a king.
And that's the issue.
The law.
And that is the issue we have with our former president.
Exactly. He's
that
not
he did not trying to stay within those.
On that he can go and do all these things as president, and the only people that can condemn him is Congress. No, that's not right. That's why we have a judiciary. The judiciary shows who is in violation of the law. The Supreme Court is who the president answers to.
Right.
They're not his boss, but they tell you what's right and what's wrong against the law. Because they're the ones that are chosen to impose the law.
It's like I say, what they uphold so much, the Constitution, whatever, people can always make that argument. And right now, even at my age, I don't know all of the stuff, like how you're saying that is so true. I should know more than I do know and everything else like that. And people who are keep throwing out that question, go ahead.
So many people don't know what the process of how a bill is passed.
Right. I know that somewhat.
You want so much. Okay, it's okay to want all you want, but it's also a process on how things get done.
Right. Oh, it's certainly a process to that. And it's a process to how you apply for food stamps, baby. Why wouldn't you think that is a process for how the president got to make things, come through? Instead,
exactly.
But what I was saying though, Monty, was like how you made the statement, like whoever was saying, "What has the president done for us?" I don't know everything, and everything that but I know what he didn't do. That's gonna always be my own. He ain't disrespect that Constitution. He been upholding that. He's in order.
Right. And that's what's missing out on everything that we continuously discuss when it comes to our government affairs.
That's what is the problem, right? And they want to be so cocky.
I mean, I don't believe in everything that our government does, but I definitely respect the Constitution because it is a protection for the people.
Right? You need those.
It may not be helping in our day-to-day life, but it helps in the generalistic portion of it. Based on your race, your sexuality, and it's so crazy that see, I try to
don't get into
going into that because we keep trying to infuse. Well, not we, they, and I'm using that word.
Who is they? Who is they?
You know who I'm talking about. The Christians.
Go ahead. That's what I was going to say.
It's not just the Christians. The Christians too. So it is the Christians.
Or it may just be religious folks. Well, what Christians do?
They want their God in everything. But there is a such thing, and it should be prominent, and everybody should know the division between church and state. There should be no.
I'm saying anything, truth be told, God is in everything anyway. I don't care about anybody beliefs. Those are my beliefs. He in anything anyway. I don't think that is not so necessary to say, because I'm going to do that regardless. So I don't have to much. That's a waste.
That's in your personal line.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying, but that's a waste of time for me to argue if we can say a prayer in this bill. You know what I mean? Because I can say one in my head.
Everybody don't have
It
to be
does,
involved in your prayer. That's the
right.
whole
That's
point.
not.
No one has
That's
to be
not
involved in your prayer. You can go in the corner and pray. You can close your eyes
exactly
right now and pray. You can
right.
sit in your lonesome and pray. Close your go in the bathroom and pray. No one's telling you you can't. No
Right.
one's
So
telling you
that's what
that.
I've been
They're
feeling
just
in
telling you
government though,
not
Monty. Like
to
while
put
we
it
was
in the
talking
government.
about that, it's just so much frivolous stuff though that that people who fight for and stand up for. Like it's a lot of shit just be wasting so much time that's not even important. Like some shit
Like when
though.
they that's what I had that same mindset when I noticed that they use the Bible when you take your oath. Like, why are you doing that? Make the oath matter. Take the oath on the Constitution. Why are you using the Bible? You take the oath on the Constitution that you're pledging your allegiance to the country, not to the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Not that that's not your faith. It can be your faith, but outside of this government building, that's your faith.
Right.
Inside of
But
this
what I'm
government
saying,
building, your oath is to the Constitution of America.
right, and God is in everything anyway. So that's what I say, my opinion and how I feel. So when I'm looking at it and we sitting here in this conversation, like, yeah, wow, why do they do that?
Mm-hmm.
Why do they do that? If it's not about that.
That's not my point. Like we don't need to. They don't put your right hand on the Bible and swear to the. Put your right hand on the Constitution
Right.
and
Look
swear
like
to
that
your oath to the
means something.
Constitution.
Good, baby. Many of people don't put their hand on that Bible.
That's what I'm saying. But
Remember they used to do
it didn't make sense to me. That just didn't make sense to me. Why are you doing that when there's supposed to be the distinction between church and state?
right. Many of people done put their hand on that Bible and was straight lying.
And
Didn't they
lying.
used to do that
And
in
them
court?
lying.
Didn't they used to do that in court? Or do they still do
Yeah,
that?
and then perjure themselves.
They still do that in court, don't they?
Just like
Yes. Don't lie under God. Don't
in
play with God.
2023, where I had on one of my shows in 2023 where we were talking about when the Supreme Court, the three that we were talking about in particular, the three Republicans that was chosen by Trump, all in their confirmation hearings, all said that they would not touch Roe v. Wade. All three of them admitted in their confirmation hearings that they were under oath on. Remember, they all had to take the oath that they would not perjure themselves in this room. They all took that hearing and they all said they would not touch Roe v. Wade because they believed that it was settled law, and they all voted to repeal it. Which is perjury to me, and I think they should have been prosecuted as judges. I'm still waiting for that to happen. How are you going to actually sit here and do this in front of all millions of people that were watching this and say that you were not going to touch Roe v. Wade, and then you went right in there and did the same thing that you just said you weren't going to do? That's a lie. That's perjury. So why are they not being held accountable for their lying to the American people right to their faces on live television? Where is that accountability? But they get to sit there and collect a check every 2 weeks at a job that they should not be qualified to have because they perjured themselves.
Real quick, didn't they?
And we let that go like it was nothing. That was yesterday's news. And they didn't actually do it because we don't remember it. No, I remember it, and I'm still holding on to it.
And that's what I'm saying, like certain stuff like that. Like that's why
that's my job.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, even stuff like that, Ruben Reed, not that wasn't serious and stuff like that, and why we need the Constitution and need laws and different things like that. But it just be so much stuff, that goes do that. You know what I mean? And it's like sometimes they do whatever they want to do anyway. Like, that's what I don't understand. How even I'm going back to the Trump situation, how, I always make the point, or him even being on his ballot. Like, I always say, like, yo, we can't even do jury duty with no charge. How is this possible? So even your girl who you just brung on there that was breaking it down, like, yo, it's still always just like a double fucking standard. And it's like, yeah. They do always got their hand in privilege or whatever. And even the things that is supposed to be there that keep us justified for real, that keep us silent how we supposed to be as citizens of this country, they still play with that.
Right.
And manipulate that. Because exactly, look how you just pointed it out. Like, how? Well, child, if that was me and I was under any type of, and I go and lie or whatever, baby.
You going to jail.
I'm going to jail. Perjury, like you said. You calling it out, Money. Perjury. Straight up. They got my girl Merlin. What they say Merlin did?
It just does not make
jail. They got my girl Merlin. And even though, that was a personal situation, but a lot of that stuff too that they vote on and they do like that, like some of that shit just supposed to like just make sense. Like, and it don't. Like, how you gonna tell somebody about them when they can have a baby? Like, what is going on? But we still need some of the shit. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, Monty. I'm just saying, you got my mind just woo. You just now broke that out. I'm thinking that I'm trying to get, and I'm like, oh yeah, like how? Wow. Just like how we was just saying the other day when I seen the Lord say, yes, seeing the little thing, I got background noise. Excuse me. About the marijuana and it being legal and everything. And I posted it to my page and they were saying, all these years, this shit has been illegal. They have been locking us up for it. We've been, now all of a sudden that is legal. How y'all the number one regulators? How y'all the experts when this shit was illegal? You know what I mean? Now y'all the experts. Y'all know everything about it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, y'all the ones, you know what I mean? Government, state, y'all the ones who giving people the authority to, head the dispensaries or whatever. How y'all know about the regulations and how this shit should be ran? Come on. And the majority of them don't even have of course, not color skin, but how that happened?
It didn't.
When it was the majority of us, the black folks, every shit like that. So you gotta be just thinking about shit, boy.
Yeah.
Like how it was us, the black folks, that was in jail for it. We should have every fucking dispensary.
But it's like it's almost like no one actually. Everybody wants to care. They want to care, but nobody actually does.
Right? They don't, and that
because they still looking. But instead of actually caring and then receiving the benefits of your care in the form of getting what you want to sit back, not know what you want, and not care. All those things can't happen at once, and then you still complain.
Right. But even in the situations where we know where we want, in that regard, I'm gonna speak up.
No one knows what they want.
As a black person, if you did, we don't know what we want. You know what I'm saying, Monty? A lot of times because we haven't really gotten anything. Even how I was saying, as far as how the laws and stuff, that shit is still always manipulated and somehow against us just from being, black people and who we are just in this fucking country.
But that's not true. I mean, in itself, it's not true. It's because we don't have the representation to get what we want. And that's on us too. That's on us too.
That's on us too. We try to get in there, but it still be powers to be. It's still, and I'm not even gonna say powers. It still be strategies. It still be strategies and propagandas. I'm not even gonna say power because we the power, but it still be those to prevent us.
Outside, by the way, it has dropped 4 more degrees outside.
Oh my goodness, you always cool.
It is now 22 degrees outside. Remember, we started the show at 26.
I got my best friend's birthday February 22nd, and I seen it's on my eggs right here.
8:22 and 22 degrees outside. 8:22 and 22 degrees.
Oh my goodness.
So I told you I was supposed to be dropping down into the teens tonight.
You cold just thinking about that temperature, aren't you, Monty?
I closed my window a little bit, so it's like a little tiny crack. But the wind is still making my curtains open, it flutter, and So I know it's freezing out there, and I won't be out there. Thank you very much. What did I want to say just now?
I know the thought alone got you cold.
Oh no, I was saying though, it takes me right back to what I was saying about the campaign finance stuff though, because if we would have more representation if they didn't have to go out and try to find support. You see what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Because if we were just listening to stories,
because a lot of that support and that money goes to the most known, candidate.
Right. People that are more popular.
They already got the president. That's just like any of us just trying to go and run.
I mean, you could just think about it. The same way
we
found out
already know
about Barack Obama. That's the way that you can tell how support works, because he had to go search for a whole bunch of people to give him a whole bunch of money to even qualify to be on the ballot.
Yes. They'll put him up there.
Notice, because before we didn't know anything about a Barack Obama before he became, he was running for president. We didn't know about that man from Chicago that was the representative. We didn't know nothing about him, and we didn't care about him.
No, he needed enough money so he could do that campaign, so he can go and be known.
But he had to go stalk people for money first before he can get his name recognition to become president of the United States of America. That is a fallacy that needs to stop. And the same thing happens here in our own city. You have to get so much money so you can be qualified to actually be seen to even become the mayor of this city.
Yeah. That's how they count your support.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of just saying, okay, I think I can do the job. So let's use me. I think I can do the job. Let me go down to the city hall and register for elections and see if I can get my name put on the ballot. Why isn't that the possibility? Why do I have to go run around here and raise all this money and do all this other kind of stuff where this money is not going to benefit anybody but advertisement agencies, the bus companies,
a waste.
In the printing press, the people that's going to print your signs.
Yeah, a waste.
That's not helping the city. That's not helping the country. That's not doing anything to benefit anyone but those industries. But that's your money. That's the people's money that's going into that after being taxed.
Just for them to run the campaign.
After taxes, the money that's after taxes. Right? You already got taxed from your job, then you're going to come and contribute to another thing after taxes?
Yeah.
No. That's just wrong to me. So yeah, I'm back on my bully.
That's definitely
no more money to no more candidates of this.
Wow, you better talk it. Because when you just broke it down like that, it's no way possible.
Always donated to Sheila Dixon. I've always donated to whoever was on the Democratic Party that was going to run for president. And it's not that I'm against them. I'm with you. I'm with you, just not monetarily. So you can hear it now on this radio show that I'm telling you I'm with you, but I'm not giving you no damn money. Not mine. Because it's not an investment. It's not coming back to me.
You don't see them and that's what I said. That's the word I used, ain't it? It should be an investment. I guess the investment is them. I guess the investment is them getting elected or actually getting in a position.
I don't want no picture. Because that's what they're hawking off now. You want to come to the Democratic something? No, I'm not coming. I'm busy. That's a day of work that I'm losing to come there. No. I'm not coming. I don't want no damn t-shirt. I don't want it.
And that whole process is crazy too, because even when they're in there and going through all of that, the campaign, when they're in office, different things that they vote for, what they are for, that has a lot to do with it too. With that, with the endorsements, who people support, whether it be on the campaign. Like, so if you sway one way, then you lose votes.
Right.
Or you get more people, you more popular because you think like this and you think it's just a whole I don't understand how people can really. That's why I trust the system. I guess that's why I'll say I need to know more, but it's so confusing. it's so confusing because even when you're breaking all that stuff down like that, like once they get in office, I can remember working for different agencies or whatever. We have to follow or do a certain thing on a guideline depending on who was in office, or move a certain way depending on who the mayor of the city was, or who that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that that's going to interfere with our funding, our partnerships.
Yeah.
Yo, it is just so crazy when you break this.
With government people that might be your potential bosses and stuff like that, and try to make them, that's basically lobbying. That's the same thing as lobbying.
Yes. And that's why I feel a lot of times, people, when they get in there, we talk about how we vote for people. A lot of people say we vote for people when they're popular, and things like that. A lot of times, no, we be thinking it's people going to get in there and do what they need to do. But like you said, there's a process. You have a lot of that going on. For the side and what backing and stuff they get. So sometimes people go in there and they step into an arena where people already got sides. Mm-hmm. And they already got their supporters and they already got their clique. And so they be so enthused to go in there and really do something for the people. But then when you get in there, when you get into the system, you fight in another system just to stay involved. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, yeah, I remember all at the meetings, and you can't say stuff how we talk about that sister speaking out and saying certain, how you can't say it, or you can't be for this, or you could have a different feeling about something, but because you are here, it's not acceptable for you to feel this certain way about this, because if you do, you're going to lose this backing, or you're going to.
Right.
It's just.
Or they're gonna put their money into another.
That's why I say it's bullshit.
That's where that infighting comes from, because then so say for instance you do say something wrong, and that the person that was
that's what the government gonna do right now. How you just broke it down? That's exactly how they going through it.
But that's exactly what the Republicans.
That's exactly what they are going through it. The House being represented by a certain party, and then our Senate seats, and like that's exactly what they are going through right now.
That's crazy.
Like a lot of that stuff up in Congress right now, it don't have shit to do with really like what's good for the people. It just has to do this L party, and we got right. I'm sure it's a lot of people on that side that probably do feel indifferent. But they can't say nothing and they can't speak up. And a lot of them are now voicing how different they do feel and why they not backing a certain. But yeah, that whole system
what's interesting to me, because when
is a mess.
When you vote right now, even now in the state of Maryland, where you vote, you register to vote, on elections.maryland, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
They all have your information, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that is a registered elected to be elected official, they have your information, so they're able to email you and all that kind of stuff if they chose to, right? Mm-hmm. Like I've never gotten an email from one of my representatives, not from the city or the county. And like I said, they have your information because that's a part of the voter roll, right? You give them your email address and your phone number. But I've never gotten a message like when Elijah Cummings was alive, rest in peace, sir. When he was here, I used to go to his office and I used to tell him, I've never gotten an email from you, sir. Why is that? Like, why aren't you having town halls with the people that you're representing? Where are you getting your basis on knowing what we want?
They gotta call you.
I stumped him with that question. And to this day, no one can answer me that question. Like, where are your town halls? Where are you doing something that you're communicating with your constituents? It can't be that we just have to come here like I'm doing.
And ain't that how they be carrying it?
Pile up into this little tiny office that you have with these 3 rooms. I mean, I'm not saying that the office was small. What I'm saying is that it's not big enough to hold a town hall.
Right. No, I'm just saying your whole point that you're making is that when they're trying to get into these seats in these offices, they come to the people.
Right.
They're out there.
You should be
But
coming to
then
the people on a regular basis.
But then when we put them in a seat, we gotta keep coming to them. What they say? Call your state senator, call your councilman, call your,
But it shouldn't be
when
that I have to continuously call you. You should be showing your face to me. And any kind of preference that you want to do it, you can have it at the convention center. That's city owned. That's state owned. You can have it somewhere. It don't have to be at no hotel where you got to probably pay the rental fees. It don't have to be like that. You can have it at City Hall. They got those rooms just there for most of the week.
Yeah.
Empty.
All these churches and all this. If everybody really want to come together.
For that one purpose, I'll go to a church.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. But I'm just saying, right, you're right. It's tons of places where y'all can have things like that. Continue to do it when you get into office to really know what the people want. Moving off a subject, but like, right, how we talk about these bike lanes, like, who voted?
Who voted for that? Nobody asked you
voted for this.
No one wanted this.
Who voted? It's so many complaints.
Of all things to do with these bike lanes, you took parking spaces away from all these 50 million cars to put in a bike lane that ain't nobody riding bike
lane. And all these people driving, and baby, you can't find a bike consistently. I would love to do a study. You can't find a bike. When you be saying the bike? Every now and then you do, because the scooters and stuff. But right, they just made traffic so congested.
I bought a bike. Bitch, I'm not riding that bike.
And when I did, I ain't even really more so worried. I don't know, chill, about the lanes.
You think I'm going on that bike? If I'm not riding that bike in the park, you think I'm riding on Baltimore City streets? Hell no.
I don't like how they did nothing about it. How they put the parking in the middle of the street and you got to stop all traffic and you got to back in and try to get in this. I don't like it. Before I make this left turn, I got to look in this lane because I might still hit somebody. Nothing about it.
I don't know who even authored that bill. Like, put these bike lanes. Like, who the hell told you to do this?
Ain't that hush hush? Who did that? Who did it? And the people who did it and voted, wherever they was in that office secretly by themselves, y'all should be on a bike every damn day.
And that happened on the pew, remember?
On this lane. Y'all should be every day. Because Harford Road, all this in my city is a mess. North Avenue, a mess. Center Street, a mess.
But think about this though, and right now, as the snow plows go through, they tearing all that
St.
stuff
Lo
up.
Drive, a mess.
They tearing it all up right now. They knocking off over all those little white things hanging out there, sticking out the ground. They knocking them all down right now.
And that's what I'm saying. The maintenance. All these sticks around, and I understand that they try to do the little sticks, by the curb, I guess, to avoid people turning the curb. But they broke. It makes you turn all the way into another lane and all this. I just was saying, though, Monny. I just was saying, right. I just was elaborating on the point that you was making, that it needs to be an ongoing conversation. Right. Not just when y'all are trying to get elected into these offices and stuff like that, because that's what be happening. See, a lot of times people who do know and we do be voting for them and stuff like that, once they get in the office, we don't keep that umph up in them. So a lot of it be that we don't have enough interaction, enough communication with them to really be telling them or making them make sure they doing their job.
I would like for actually, and I hope.
And then they got to fight against the system in there.
I want to give the suggestion to my mayor, Sheila Dixon, too. That I think
you think Sheila going to take it?
Oh yeah,
you don't think Brandon going to be in here with Baby Charm?
Nope, I don't believe in the negative, because that would be the negative to me. I want her to win.
And Scott, when she put that hyphen on her name,
he can go here home and take care of his baby. I want her in there.
And Pew Scott, and she put the hyphen on her name. What's his fiance name?
Oh, did he hyphenate his name?
No, I say when they get married, it's his fiance. His fiance now. Her last name is Pew.
I know. I know, I know that.
I
But
said,
that's what I said. He gonna. You say he's hyphenating his name?
no, I was saying you're not trying to see
You just
Miss
tried
P.
it. You
Scott.
tried it. I get it. You tried it. I get
Yeah. Miss P. Scott up in here.
it. No,
So
thank you.
again, you're mad Sheila Dixon because you're confident that Sheila Dixon is going to be in.
I'm confident. I'm confident that she's gonna get in this time. I hope.
Now she put them damn bike lights.
No, but I would like to make that suggestion to her that she has a little bit more. Not that we just have to see her at the city council meetings and all that kind of stuff. Give us a little bit more town hall style thing. I mean, because like I said, when she was mayor, she ran a tight ship, and that tight ship was an excellent thing for Baltimore back then, right? And I just want, going forward, for our elected officials to actually have their ear to the streets,
Right.
and listen to what's happening in the streets,
Right.
versus finding out on the news,
Right.
finding out somebody got killed over something stupid, or finding out something happened, but be steadfast and ready to hop on it when it happens. Because I think that's the only way you're going to actually be able to curb crime, is if you know where the crime is happening and why it's happening and what's going on in your city to make it stop happening.
Mm.
Because if we're not going to do that, we're going to have the status quo. It's going to be the continuous rotation of crime, because crime is not something you can stop.
Mm.
Because you can't sit in the mindset of all of these people that you call your citizens, because the citizens are going to do what they're going to do. If somebody does an infraction on them, they probably think that's going to be something that's going to get them killed. Then that's what's going to happen, and you're going to find out after the fact. But if you can stave off the process of the criminality happening, then you change things for everyone.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? If there is no drug dealer, there is no drug deal crime.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? Stop it before it happens. Get to the youth before they become the criminal.
Yeah.
And it's not just by opening up recreation centers. You have to do more.
You have to.
A recreation center only stays off that afternoon from 5 to 7. After 7, it's all fun and games again, and crime.
And it's still only going to be a certain bunch that go inside the recreation center.
But that's what I'm saying.
Because
not everybody wants to be at the recreation center, especially
right. And again, it's still a disconnect a lot of times between the services and everything that people want. Like, yes, it is a lot of services.
Because you know what influences crime, and more than likely, with influencing the crime is the monetary value of what is at stake. If you at the recreation center and ain't making no damn money, then what's the point of being at the recreation center? Just to be recreational? Hell no, I don't want to play basketball all day. Basketball ain't paying me. I need to get a job. My job of choice is, because I can't get a regular job, I'm going to sell drugs. Well, now we need to figure out what we can do to stop that from happening. We need to find jobs that'll help people stay recreational and get paid. When I was young, we had a recreation center. I worked there. I was an employee. I got a paycheck every Friday. That kept me off the streets, because my thing was too. Oh no, I'm not going to the center across the street. Recreation for what? I need a coin.
Right. Use your community.
Yeah.
Use the people in the community. You know, not saying use them like that, but really let them
gig, make it a paid gig then.
Right. And let them be involved. So y'all hear that, elected officials, right?
Get them to recreate.
And get on it like that. Yes.
That's what they're looking for. They're not looking for recreation centers where they're just going to be using up paper and making paper planes and shit and using a computer. They're looking for recreation that's going to pay them. That's what's going to keep them off the streets, on the corners. If they got money coming in their pocket, able to do stuff.
Right.
Recreate them a position. Because that's how it works. That's how you make it work. I got paid to recreate. Not everybody did, but I did. I was an employee.
Okay, work.
But it worked for me. It can work for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all got the. I mean, y'all have the structure of it. You already have the structure. Y'all just need to implement it on a day-to-day basis versus just being a summer job program.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a job program, not a summer job program. Make it a job program.
And keep them engaged.
And keep that,
Or
but that would keep
something
them
to
engaged.
whatever.
It's
I
not
even
just
feel like that even
June,
far as
July, and
with
August. It's not just June, July, and August, but it's a year thing. The whole entire year, you're gonna get a paycheck every week on the year. Not
right.
just June, July, and August. Don't give me no summer job. I need to recreate from. I get out of school at 3. What am I doing from 3 to 7? I should be getting paid.
And I think more so even in the education
Have more
system.
straight A people if you paid them to do their homework.
That's what I'm saying. Even in the education center, that's the system. That's the point that I was ready to make.
Now, I'll donate to
If,
that.
if it was incentives, where the education and going to school led to more careers. And of course, we have schools that are vocational schools and
hold them
different things
accountable.
like that.
If you fail in a class, you can lose your job.
Yeah.
Because we pay you to do your work. We pay you to come here to get this work done. We pay you to also recreate, but we also paying you to do your homework. So your first thing you do when you get to the recreation center is to open that book and do that homework. Because now we want to see your report card when it comes in. We want to know what you got on that test. We want to know how we helped you get that on that test. Because the other people that's also employed there are going to help you succeed.
Yep. Have the children working inside the schools the same way how they have
exactly, and that's how you make a prominent system. If they also find out that you put that on your resume that you were an employee of said recreation center, and this is how you gauged your career agenda and how you use this to get yourself into all these different colleges. That's a bonus for you. But we don't have that right now. So now we got things falling through the cracks.
And just like more of those schools, I think so too. We have some of them like BARD, like how we saying falling into, getting into the career, but like BARD, I think also like COP and high school does it, where like in the last 2 years or so, children are working on their associates.
Right.
So when they come out of because this is the world now. And it's fast paced and it's about that. It's about your skill set. And it's about the money that you can get. So if I can come out, you know what I mean? Like time waits for no one. We really have to move in the speed that put the future in front of the game. Real talk. And that's not really being done.
It will also help with people being motivated to enjoy work. Actually work. It would give that kind of motivation to actually show up and do something that you believe in that gives you a positive feeling.
Right.
It would actually build confidence in performance.
Yeah.
Because you know that you need to do this to succeed. You need to know that you need to do this so you can know that there's something better out there for you. It's just so much that could go into the gauging of how we recreate. How we are raising our children, how we are doing things to actually make people succeed and get to that goal of generational wealth. Because the thing is that people are not in love with school. They're not in love with the academics of learning. We've lost it.
But if you can present it to them,
because
the way how they're going to have to live life.
Realize that a lot of parents don't believe that school is there to educate them. It's more so a babysitter.
That's exactly what it is. And they just going to show up to get those grades. But if that was put into that system like that, that would just be so like dynamic. That really would change the game. So I hope someone's listening in government and how you were telling Sheila to connect with the people when you get back into the office system.
Yeah, you really
make sure you keep coming to the people. The traditional stuff they do
and from the top. They got to stop governing from the top and start governing from the bottom. Because if you're not going to listen to your people, how are you going to succeed? We're not believing in you. That's why Biden is, Like, I was so proud of how he handled having his the speech he did last week. He went back to the church and I forgot where it is, but where the 5 people was killed, the black people was killed. You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
He went back there to do his speech. That's where he did it from that church. And that was real, you know, that's him going back to the people, basically. The people that supported him and trying to engage them in what they need to do next. Because again, if we are in this situation where the government is divided in 2025, when the new president, whoever it is going to be Biden, but whoever it is elected, we have to change the situation in Congress first. That is the point of concern. If we elect Biden again and y'all sit around and complain and you did nothing about Congress, it is your fault. Congress is divided and it needs not to be. If Biden is to win, he needs both houses in his corner. The Senate needs to remain Democratic and the House needs to turn back Democratic. Period. And if it doesn't, it is your fault.
And let us function like that on all levels. Government,
on all levels. If the party in power wants to get anything done, right now, there is no negotiating with the MAGA extremists. There's none. And I don't actually want them to try and negotiate with them because they're weird. I'm tired of talking to weird people.
Yeah. All of it is weird to me, Monny. All of it is weird.
There is no talking to weird people. It isn't, because their weirdness has crept into disbelief. Like you don't believe in anything and you'll fall for everything. And they're weird. They're just weird. Because there's no way in the world and before 2016, nothing out of Donald Trump's mouth made sense to no one, and no one took him seriously but to be a clown for Celebrity Apprentice.
That's it.
Because everybody believed that he was a racist. They always thought that from his housing projects. Like, I don't know where that since changed, where y'all thought this man was meant to be president. Ew.
Yeah, like why him?
He was a television clown.
Like people really got to look at the whole picture. Like why him?
It just doesn't make sense. Like, how do you go from him, to him bankrupting all of his businesses, but to make money on the other end, to thinking he won't cheat you? It don't make sense. It don't make sense. It does not add up. Poor white people.
Poor things. And wait a minute, it ain't only the white people now. Because he has some other followers. Yes, he does. But I just hope they remember.
They're not. They're going to forget now.
Hope they remember.
They forgot everything.
How well they forget. And that's on both sides. The supporters, the voters, and when they get up in that office, y'all need to stay connected to the people. All of these campaigns, and when y'all get up in there, it's cute. Y'all can go to the community functions, but come to the community. Talk to me. I don't want to keep saying you stand up there with no book bags. And the thing, we know they do that. What's new?
And I don't want to do it in the form of a rally. That's the thing. That's the worst thing that I've ever seen in my life. All the people piled up in one place trying to get their voices heard. No. I need you to come to my town, come to my locale, and don't invite anybody that don't live here. Don't live here to that town hall. You have to live here.
Wait a minute.
To go to my town hall.
And while I do believe that rallies and protests and stuff like that is important, let me just say that. It's just weird. I do believe. I do believe they have their purpose, right?
Rally.
I do believe they have their purpose. But what I'm saying is, when you think about it, my people, we do all that walking. to get in
No,
there
no, I'm not
just to
talking
be
about
able to
protests.
do
Protest is
talking.
something different. I'm talking about these rallies, like the Trump rallies and stuff.
Oh yeah, and be yelling across and
because you're not listening to nobody. You're only there to listen to that person spew whatever they're spewing. They're not listening to what you want.
right.
There was no question at those rallies. There are no question and answer sessions where it comes from the constituents. It's just him talking and telling you what he's going to do, not what you want him to do.
Oh, that's his stuff.
Right. And that's what I don't understand.
He loves to be.
That blind stupidity, that blind devotion to something that's not even real. Because none of that stuff is going to happen. Because again, if Congress is divided, as it is now, he won't be doing any of that either.
Oh no! If Trump
vice versa.
Yeah,
Biden can't do nothing right now because the government is divided. If he's in office, he can't do anything if the government is divided. Period. Because we got to look at the other scale of things. Congress has to be changed too for a president to succeed. Because again, he can't run everything by executive order. It just does not work because the next president is going to reverse that.
Well,
on day one. On day one, just like Biden did when he got in office, he reversed a whole bunch of his executive orders on day one.
Hold on, that's not right.
But it is what it is. If you don't have both houses of Congress, it doesn't matter what you do. Nothing is really real. And that's what we face now. And I didn't even get to the E.G. and Carroll stuff.
That's why God bless America.
I didn't even get to the E.G. and Carroll or the damn Diddy story that I was going to do about Clive Davis and the Grammys. But
oh yeah, because Diddy ain't go. Diddy ain't go. But that's all right, because you be back next week, won't you?
He is still on the he didn't Diddy is on the invite list. He's still on the invite list. They just don't have his picture on like the tickets and stuff like they usually would do. So he's like in the background of it. So he's still invited because he's still a moving and shaking in the movie industry. I mean, the music industry. He's just not prominent. Like Clive Davis, they close, they friends. So he's probably going to be there. I don't know why he would go. I think he should just be under a rock until it's all over with.
What's that? To the award?
Yeah, to anything that has to do with music.
No, I don't think he going. I think it already came out that he was saying that he's not. What are you talking about? I know he didn't just. What was the award stuff?
Talking about the pre-Grammy party that that Clive Davis does every year.
Oh yeah, he ain't go to none of that.
So the Grammys air Sunday, February the 4th at 8 p.m. I'm looking forward to it.
What's the one that just now came on?
The Emmys.
The Emmys, yeah. And I think he was nominated or something for something there. And he didn't go to that either. He didn't go there. Yes, he will.
Oh, who won an Emmy? What's her name? Quinn. What's her name? From Abbott Elementary.
I don't know.
Quinta Brunson.
Oh, congratulations.
For an Emmy. Who else won one? Gosh, I know all these people names. Just
oh yeah, you talked about that earlier. T.S.
Madison. Yep, she won an
Madison. Right, and I think she got it for the RuPaul show. What is that?
Yeah, that's what we was talking about. That's what I was talking about.
Earlier.
That's what I was talking about earlier.
Bring back my girl.
What were we talking about earlier? I was telling you about the Emmys.
Yeah.
So yeah, T.S. Madison won an award, won an Emmy last night. Who else won one? Niecy Nash.
And she been winning hers too. Is this still for that one show? What's the show? See, always draw a blank. Sorry, guys. But if anybody listening, they know that show because she been grabbing her awards for that show for a minute.
Oh, here they are. Succession won an Emmy. That's my show on HBO. Matter of fact, I don't even think I
You
watched
know,
the
be getting to watch all of the shows.
I need to watch the 3rd season. I need to go watch that tonight.
That's how
Kieran
much I know I don't watch TV.
Macaulay Culkin's brother, he won an Emmy for Succession. Oh, Succession was winning them all. Okay, Sarah Snook for Succession. No, they all was winning for Succession. Succession took the show last night. And like I said, Quinta Brunson won one for Abbott Elementary. And somebody else that I was talking to you about
Ain't
earlier.
that what Niecy Nash on too? Is it that?
On Abbott Elementary?
Is she on that?
I don't think so. I'm trying to find her name now.
I know she's on one of them. She been whatever show she.
Niecy Nash is. Oh no, she won it for Dahmer.
Oh, okay. Oh,
the Netflix movie. Was a movie or miniseries or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the miniseries. Oh yeah, she played the neighbor.
For Dahmer, Monsters, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Yep.
Oh yeah, she was the neighbor.
Mm-hmm. Damn, it was one other person I watched last night that I wanted to actually mention. It was T.S. Madison and somebody else.
That was a great.
All right, I'm running out of time. Hold on. I'm looking down this list.
That's all right.
If I remember, I might just have to tell you next week.
You guys.
RuPaul Drag Race won one.
That's what TS won for.
Last week tonight with John Oliver won an Emmy. That's my show. That show makes me laugh every week. That's it. I guess I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was just T.S. Madison and RuPaul Drag Race that I was talking about. Well, so we covered the Emmys. I don't really need to go into the E. Jean Carroll thing with Donald Trump because the case hasn't started yet. So,
oh my goodness, all of that had me going every which way. I was trying to get my thoughts out, but it's just so much you can say in regards to that. Like seriously, and it's not one of those things that make you say, because you already know.
Right.
And then on the other hand, it does make you say, Mm-hmm.
Chill.
So what we did talk about, Monny, it was good talking to you. Because I always say, I ain't talked to you lately.
Yeah, and I like this format now. I think I'm going to stick with this open discussion format too, because I really, really like that we actually took up the whole entire show, actually diving into the governmental structure of city, state, and federal government, and what you, the people, have to do to be engaged in your own wants. You can't rely on other people that aren't talking to you to guess what you want. So my homework for everybody out there tonight is to figure out what you want. What do you want out of your government? What do you want out of your local government? What do you want out of your city, your state, your municipality? What do you want out of your metropolitan area? What do you want? What do you want? Be specific. Let us try to build a consensus. Let us create a word salad of what you want and see if everybody can figure out what they want the most. And let's work from that.
And stop worrying about all this frivolous stuff. And on the other hand, government, like how you said, on all levels, have to open up more avenues where the people can talk to them and be heard. Not just rallies, not just shouting matches against each other, but we're really do it collectively.
Right. Sure. It needs to be more localized. It needs to be shown that you can go to a town hall and walk up to the mic and tell somebody, I don't like this in my neighborhood. I wish we could do this differently. Can we have this? Can you get us this? Can I have what I need?
Right. That's why a lot of them setups be so rah, because when the people are finally able to be heard, they got to shout and all this because it's not done enough. So by the time you do get a chance to come to the podium or to the table, or however you know, when they do let you
and
speak.
we can get past the point of contentious, because it's typically when they get to the mic, they're angry. They're not coming to the mic with constructive criticism. They're coming to the mic with anger, and they're ready to cut your head off.
Right. So it goes both ways, Monny. I guess we've been saying that all night, where you was giving the advice to tell the people that we do.
When we get into the room where we're voting, we're angry voting. We're angry voting. We're trying to vote for prosperity versus vote for the continuation of democracy.
Right. So like you said, you was giving out the advice, and it goes both ways.
Both ways.
Why the people have to be clear on what they want, and make sure that we are heard. The people that's supposed to be for the people need to do the same.
Around the corner, and this, like all the other ones, is the most important election of your life. Just like the past ones were the most important election. Now, the next one, after this one, 2028, will be the most important election of that life. But right now, for your prosperity and for your own self-benefit, this is the most important election of your life. And if you're not ready for it, you might as well just go ahead and revoke your own citizenship and get on out of here.
Right. And if you one of them people that talk about you don't vote because it don't count and all this and all that, just
that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Don't even just say nothing to me. Yeah.
While all those people sitting over there counting your votes and you talking about it don't count. How
they don't count.
Does that sound? That's the
all this counting you see them doing
in my life.
Right. All this counting you see them doing.
Right.
And this whole setup and this process.
And you already know how I feel about that process, right? I think I've said this for years. The whole entire mechanism of our voting structure is the most asinine thing in the world. It takes too long. It did not take 24, 48, 3 weeks to count votes. We live in a system where the internet is the basis of how we operate. But you can't secure our system enough to prevent hacking into our election process so we can do it online from the comfort of our own home and make this thing fast. It's so idiotic, it doesn't make sense. We run majority of our lives on the internet.
Oh, child.
Food stamps on the internet.
It'll really be grievances, baby. And the way they keep on stealing these food stamps, they better not put that.
Be a system in place where you can verify votes outside. So like I'm saying, all right. So what I'm saying is the election process should be done online. Okay. So if you do the election process online, then you can require the elected official to send in a ballot to verify their votes. But it shouldn't have to be the night of. Like we could get the election part over with and find out whoever wins in the process of 2 hours, right? That's what I'm saying. And then everybody that voted is required to send in a paper ballot that verifies their vote. That can be counted any time of the week and applied to that vote that you did online, basically. So right now we got the first verification. You did the first verification online. The second verification is that paper ballot coming in. If you don't send your paper ballot in by the cutoff date, your vote is invalid. And you can get a paper ballot to the post office or mail it in or whatever the case may be to verify your vote.
I don't know. I guess they be having to see you to make sure that it's real.
That's just because an even the whole entire process, just like them people going out yesterday in that blizzard just to go vote for these.
To make sure.
I just think that was so stupid because half those people didn't even get to get their voices heard in the election because they weren't coming out because they were in the middle of a freaking blizzard. How many people didn't cast their votes yesterday because they were too concerned about not being able to get out because there are 3 feet of snow outside?
A lot. Where it should have been held off or whatever.
I just didn't even understand. Like, why didn't you even postpone it?
Yes. Why would you?
Inclement weather. We do it for everything else. Why wasn't that postponed until Thursday? where they could have cleaned the streets up, where the temperatures may have rose up a little bit, where there would have been less snow because we would have plowed and shoveled out. But no, you did it in the middle of 3 feet of snow where half the electorate wasn't even going to show up. All right, I gotta go.
Should have been, and it should have been. Gotta go, right, man.
My lips started peeling.
That's because it's cold outside. Wear your lip gloss. Wear your chapstick.
So this has been Talk Lately. I am your host, Monny. You can follow me on Instagram at Talk Lately at BXR, or you can email me at TLS@beexposedradio.com. That is ChasReal, the lady. Tell up your name, the Lady Empress Cake Mix.
Oh, Happy New Year. You gonna get it this year. I am ChasReal, the Empress Lady Cake Mix. It was nice talking to you, Monny. That's right. All that.
She is on this Thursday at 7 p.m. with the You Better Live show.
Yeah.
I'll be there. So was somebody else. She has a guest coming on. We don't know the information yet, so just hold on to that.
Yes.
By the way, he did say cool, so you can text away.
Right. I'll have somebody on there talking to me. If not, one of my good friends, she might come back on round.
Shalina.
We see. You know when I say good friend, my sister. Yeah, she's in some new endeavors. But you know, it's on and on.
If you'd like to support any of our shows or any of our broadcasts that we do here on Be Exposed Media, you can do so by cashapping us at Be Exposed Radio. So $ Be Exposed Radio. And if you would like to be a guest on our shows, you can always go to email us at guest@beexposedradio.com. All right, you guys. Thanks, Chaz. So we'll be talking more on Thursday.
Later, Mom.
This was fun. I think I'll be back next Tuesday.
You shall.
Don't hold me to it, but I actually will be back. I'll be back next Tuesday because I like this format. This format was actually good. I'm going to end the show though tonight by playing our country's representative, Jasmine Crockett of Texas, and what she had to say to our Republican other side.
I just want to run it back, though, to the very beginning, because this is something that I just can't get over. I can't get over the gentle lady from South Carolina talking about white privilege. It was a spit in the face, at least of mine as a Black woman, for you to talk about what white privilege looks like, especially from that side of the aisle. And let me quote your now ousted speaker and what he had to say about the Republican Party and y'all's lack of diversity. When you look at the Democrats, they actually look like America. When I look at my party, we look like the most restrictive country club in America. So let me tell you something. Y'all don't know what white privilege looks like, but I'm gonna show you a little bit of something. You see, you want to talk about a two-tier justice system, and this is the only time that y'all have ever referenced it, when this country has a history when it comes to Black and brown folk of having two separate sets of rules. And right now, what you want to do is have two separate sets of rules because Mr. Moskowitz offered y'all a fair situation. He said he would vote for Hunter to be held in contempt if y'all voted to hold all, even if you remove all of the members of Congress. There's still other people that y'all haven't decided that y'all have excuses for, but y'all don't want to hold them in contempt. But for some reason, it makes sense to hold Hunter Biden in contempt, who has tried to comply. And let me tell you why nobody wants to talk to y'all behind closed doors, because y'all lie. That's just the bottom line. You have done it thus far in this investigation. You have done it this far as it relates to this committee. In every single hearing, y'all spin. I don't know how y'all are still standing right now, because you should be quite dizzy from all the spinning that you're constantly doing when it comes to spinning the truth. You talk about free and fair elections, but you back a guy who we know tried to steal the election. And this isn't about what Democrats have to say. Let me remind you, for those of you that don't know how the justice system works, it's not a matter of the president went in and indicted Trump, but we are talking about grand juries. Grand juries are comprised of American citizens, and the people that have entered pleas of guilty that will be flipping on your leader in a minute, they are Republicans. I do want to point that out. And half of them were Republicans that were handpicked by Donald Trump himself. So, to be clear, whatever happens to your little leader, It's going to be because of the actions that he took. So you can talk all you want to about how January 6th was nonsense, but all of y'all were running at that time. Y'all were grabbing y'all's gas masks and y'all were running to your offices because you didn't know if they were coming to kill you. You should have cared that somebody was there to protect you, but instead you want to play games because you found out that it was your leader that decided that he wanted to propagate an insurrection on our country. So don't tell me that you care about the Constitution, because you don't. All you care about is Trump getting reelected, and I'll yield the last of my time to my leader.
Thank you. And with that, I say good night.